I just want to take a moment to express truly what Michelle means to me as a partner. But before I'm able to do that, let me kind of give you a little bit of background as to the events prior to us coming together. As a lot of you very well know, I was married for 20 years to one woman. I had both of my children by this woman that I chose to marry and try to do right by, live right by, raise my kids by, teach them right from wrong, and try to be a good example to them by. And so with that being said, at the 15-year mark for me and my former wife, everything really started to unravel. I didn't understand what God was doing in my life because I'm very prayerful. I love the Lord. I have a relationship with God that's incredible. And I could not understand for the life of me what was happening, why. It just seemed like God was stripping everything from me. I'm talking about from having a home, brand new home built from the ground up, from having nice cars and, having a really good life that we had built together. I had a barber shop. I owned a shop, Fly Guy's Barber Shop. My wife, at the time, she worked for Verizon, and we were doing really well for ourselves. And life changed. Life changed. And my ex-wife wanted a different life. What it all boiled down to, not to go into details or anything, it all boiled down to she wanted a different life, and she acted out on it, and it ended us in our life. With that being said, I stayed stuck in limbo, lost in anger for well over a year. Dated a few people here and there, whatever, nothing really real. Until on the dating, and I was on the dating sites, until the dating site, one day I was on the dating site at Tinder. I came across Michelle's profile. The way the profile was worded, it grabbed my attention instantly. And so I sent her a message. At the time, she was about to go on vacation in Cancun. I caught her right before she left, and as luck would have it, we talked, and she said that she'd talk back with me when she came back. I had no reason not to believe her. So she's gone for about a week. About time she came back, I had been surfing, I think, POF, Plenty of Fish. I was on that site as well. And I happened to come across her again, but didn't realize it was her because I hadn't talked to her but that one time. And so, in doing so, I realized that I was talking to the same person, so I sent him a message, and she had not too long got back, and she was like, yeah, I talked to you before we left, and, so we set up a date. And the crazy part about it just happened to be on my brother's birthday, October the 6th. Yeah, October the 6th. And coincidentally, Michelle's birthday happens to be just a month later, 30 days later, November the 6th. And so I met her on my brother's birthday. We hit it off instantly. We haven't left each other's side since October 6, 2017. We haven't left each other's side. And I remember the first meal I cooked for Michelle. after we got together. It was like a few days later, I think. I fixed baked macaroni and cheese from scratch, fried cabbage, this bread that we love in our family called blue bread, and it's actually blue bread. And I fixed her a piece of ham steak, everything from scratch. And I offered the food to her. She was taking a nap. She had went to sleep, but I remember she said she was hungry before she went to sleep. I was staying in my apartment then in Norfolk. And I gave her the food, and it blew me away that she hadn't been treated like that, had nobody to cook for her like that, and such a nice meal. And now, mind you, this around 2 o'clock in the morning. I wake her up to this meal, and she sat there and was blown away and started crying because I cooked her something to eat like that. And it spoke volumes to me that she really appreciates me and my efforts. Because all this stuff is just second nature to me. That's what I'm used to doing. Anyway, that was a special moment for Michelle. Later on, Michelle took me back to New York. She wanted to go back to New York to do some of her friends' hair and stuff. Now, mind you, Michelle is a career cosmetologist. She didn't own 5 or 6 shops in her day. I had my one shop. We both have similar interests in the beauty field and the profession, but we never. That wasn't the thing that brought us together. It just wasn't. We found each other knowing that these things were similar. So anyway, excuse me. I cook for her, and then we go to New York, to New Jersey. She took me back to where I was born at, New York, Manhattan. And I never lived there. I've been here in Virginia my whole life. My parents brought us here to New York, to Virginia once I was born, because my mother didn't want to raise boys in New York. She just didn't want to take a chance. So with that being said, I was raised here in Virginia, and I always dreamed about going back. We never didn't take trips like that going back. I might have been back maybe twice. I think twice that I can remember as a child, visiting family, but never really spent no time, and I got a chance to do that with Michelle. I never rode the subways or none of that. I had my first experience riding the subways in New York with Michelle, and it was just special to me. It did my heart wonders that I was there with her, for one, and that she allowed me to be able, and she assisted me to be able to do something that I always wanted to do. I always wanted to go back there and see what it was like, have an experience. I had my first experience with Michelle, and I'm just so grateful to God for that, because it's special to me, and I love her for it. Also, we celebrated Michelle's first birthday. It was beautiful. Celebrating our first date, movie night out. I think it was around the end of November. Yeah, we went and shared our first movie together. Every moment that I spent with her, celebrating her first birthday together, that was special. I had bought these nice roses, a bunch of different roses, color roses, purples and reds and blues and things of that nature. And I just wanted to make it special for her, as best I could, as I know how, but just by doing those little things, that I know will put a smile on her face. It's so gratifying when someone that you put your time and energy into, and your heart, your love, you put your money where your mouth is, everything with someone, and they receive it, and they're grateful for what you do, no matter how small. It's a very good feeling. I love it, because I lacked that in my relationship for so many years. So having that in her is just beautiful. I love it. And not too long after that, Michelle became a teacher. She didn't even think that she would be able to do that, and God opened doors for her to become a teacher. and do something else other than have a beauty salon and be in the hair industry. She had another love. She loved working with kids, and God opened the door so that Michelle could get a job as a teacher without even having the credentials, the college credentials that you needed to be able to do certain things and perform. But she had enough that she could get in there and work still at a discounted rate, so to speak, in salary, because she didn't have these credentials. But her job allowed her to stand out amongst her peers and where she worked and shine like a beacon of light, because nobody could do the job that she does with those kids. She keep those kids in line and in order. And today it's hard to do that with a lot of these kids that come from rural areas and poverty-stricken areas. She's able to go in there, and God bless her to be a blessing to those kids, and they love her the way I love her for who she is. They love her. I love her. I've always seen in Michelle up under the exterior. I've always seen the light that shines in Michelle in the interior. And that's what drew me to her. That's what God spoke to my heart, that this was the woman for me. And the crazy part about our story is God told Michelle that I was her husband before he even spoke to me about her. But he told us both the same thing. We was for each other. And that's so amazing and mind-blowing to me. I have no fear, no remorse. I have nothing that would promote me not to want to be Michelle's man, Michelle's husband, and her mate. I can't wait for it. We're 2 weeks away. I can't wait for it to happen. I'm so excited. I want to see her face so bad with what we got planned, and God made everything possible for us. This is none of my doing. This is not her doing. It's none of our doing. Everything that you see, this beautiful home God blessed us with, we waited for. The things we had to go through, living with family members at some point and all that, until we could get right here in this blessing. God has blessed us with a beautiful home. He did everything he said he was going to do. He told us. And he blessing us for being obedient. I know he is. He spoke it to my spirit that we being blessed because we was obedient. More than, first and foremost, obedience will get you favor with God. I'm here to tell you, I'm a witness. And I'm just so grateful to have this favor with Michelle. God bless me with her. A lot has happened since we've been together. Michelle, I got a chance to meet Michelle's father 4 months before he passed in December. And it seemed like those 4 months that I had after meeting her father, it was like a lifetime relationship. That's how well we got along and clicked. And one of the proudest moments that I can honestly say since I've experienced since I met Michelle and her family is when her father told me to my face that he had a lot of respect for me, and he was happy that his daughter found me and met me. That was, her father told me he was happy with me and he was proud of me, glad to have me in the family. That meant the world to me because it was so important to Michelle. I don't even know what it would feel like to think that her father wouldn't have any love or respect for me, but I'm just so glad and grateful to God that he did, and I had the time and the opportunity to spend with him, and he be here in our home and bless our home with his presence and his spirit and everything, and I'm going to do everything, and I told him to his face, I'm going to do everything in my power to make your daughter happy. I'm doing everything in my power. It's never in my desire, in my heart, to want to do anything outside of making Michelle happy. And I'll be so honored for her to have my last name and represent me and us very well. I'll be so honored. The last thing that I wanted to speak on was the coronavirus that has gotten us up until this place and this point right now in our lives. It's changed everything about life for us. Whereas God was showing us where he was blessing us with giving Michelle new jobs and new opportunities. And, you know, she got another job at Food Line as a manager that, you know, so God has been very, very, very gracious to us individually and collectively together. He's blessed her, and I just watched her grow. I watched her melt away from the surgery, the weight loss surgery when we went to Mexico together. That's another thing that just blessed me, that I was able to leave out of the country and go to another country with her and support her in her weight loss endeavors and that venture. We took it together, and I was there with her every step of the way, and I was just so grateful that God allowed me to be able to be there for her and do those things to help her recover and get back. And I'm here to tell you, a year later, Michelle's lost over 130 pounds, and she looks gorgeous, and she's steady losing weight and getting herself back in order, trying to be the person that she always wanted to be in appearance. Michelle, I love you for it. Whether you would stay big or whether you're doing what you're doing now and losing this weight, I would have loved you anyway, the same, big or small. I seen through the exterior when I met you, and then after meeting you and talking to you and spending time with you and being spiritual enough to talk to God about you has allowed me to come to this place where I'm so honored to be marrying you and taking you as my wife. I'm so honored. I just want you to know that I'll do the best I can for the rest of my life to try to make you happy. That with everything in me, the best I can to try to make you happy, because you make me happy. You made me happy. A man that was lost in anger and hurt. I found a new life with you, a better life, in allowing God to lead and order my steps to you and blessing me with you. I found new life, and I'm excited again because, as you know, I was so hurt and so lost. I didn't see a positive life for me in a relationship before I met you, but I see a positive life for me in a relationship with you now, and I treasure it, just so you know. That's about all that I wanted to say. I'm looking forward to this journey, looking forward to this life, Michelle. Looking forward to loving you unconditionally, more than anything in this world. Thank you. Thank you for being you, all that you've done. Thank you for choosing me and loving me. I love you.